Bigfoot Collectors Club with Michael and Riley. I know a story of high strangeness or two. Let's do this.
Bone predictor coming in hot.
You know what? Halloween's getting close, and I start making my bone predictions.
That's right.
And I think I know what bone you're picking with us this week.
Ready to pick.
I hope you do.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Terrifying Tales from Zombie Bigfoot's Cryptid Crypt. All month long here on Bigfoot Collectors Club, we're telling extra spooky stories of high strangeness. I'm your host, Mike Hell. Or was it Mike Skull? Yeah, Mike Skull McMillian. And with me always is the beast of Bray, Moog.
Oh, it's Moog.
Moog. Shit, I knew it.
You're like road. I get it. It's
Sorry.
Riley Bray.
It's
Hi.
a pedal. It's a pedal, right?
It's a synthesizer.
It's a
it's a man,
synthesizer.
but it's a synthesizer.
It's a
company.
man.
Bob Moog.
Oh, Moog. Can I take it back, even though we're not going to cut it?
Yeah.
With me always is the beast of Bray, Moog.
Riley Brains.
Wow. That was submitted by JBick1813. Sorry, JBick. I don't know this stuff like you two do. You can see who our guest is. He's also on the episode description, title, so who cares?
It's not.
Let's have to hide it.
Yeah, let's not hide it. We'll bring you right in, and then you can join us for some clubhouse keeping. Our guest this week is an actor and comedian that you know from The Last OG and Comedy Bang Bang. He's currently doing a new show at LA's famous The Groundlings. Heard of it? Directed by friend of the show, Kevin Kirkpatrick himself. If you're in LA, you got to get out there Saturday nights. He's a fellow Club Scout making what I believe is his fourth appearance on the show, maybe fifth. Are you the five-timers yet?
I haven't done 5 yet. I don't know, to be honest.
We did Liverpool Time Slip. We did
Remember
Stumps
that.
from Space.
Yes.
Liverpool Time Slip is over on the other side, I think. And then we did, obviously, the Tower of London episode.
Yeah,
And so I think
you have
this-
a good memory.
I think this is 4.
Did you just remember that, or did you have it written down? Were you thinking about this beforehand?
It's psychotic the
Crazy.
way his recall for this show.
I remember all my favorite guests. Factually inaccurate or not. Club Scouts of all timelines. Please welcome back the one and only Ryan Gaul.
Ryan Gaul.
Ryan Gaul.
yeah.
Thank you. I
In
forgot what month I
October.
was in.
Happy October, by the way. My favorite month of the year.
Finally,
it is.
yes.
It is,
Absolutely.
isn't it?
A lot
Now,
of people like December, there's two. It's like a war between the Decemberists and the Octoberists. I'm a hardy Octoberist.
Yeah, December is the Sunday of the year, whereas October is clearly the Saturday of the
now
year.
wait just 1 minute,
Yeah.
Riley. We
Yeah.
already established that August is the
August.
Sunday
August
of
is a
the
Sunday.
year.
If anything,
Because we got to
Saturday
go
is-
back to school on September, which is Monday.
Yeah, but
I would say December's a
I'm not going
Friday,
back to school.
even though we run out of months.
December
December's a
feels like the
Friday.
Saturday to me. Saturday for
Yeah.
sure. It's like it's the playtime of the year. It's
You know what? You know what it is? It's because there's 6 months, so you got to squeeze 7 days into each 6-month cycle. That's what it is. So I would
You're
say that still kind of makes it. That would make what, March the Sunday? That doesn't make sense.
I said
March
it and I'm
is like-
sticking by it.
you're not giving up.
I'm dying on this hill.
March is like the Tuesday afternoon.
It's 100% a Tuesday afternoon.
It's a horrible.
Let's go through all the
horrible
months
month.
right now. January.
January is Monday.
January
Monday.
January's a
January
Monday.
is a
Which,
Monday
I will
morning.
say leads.
Yes, I get
credence
it.
to my
Yeah.
theory.
Yes, I
Yes,
get it.
It does
Okay.
support your theory.
But we might not go linearly here.
That's right.
Okay, January is a Monday morning.
Chaos.
Yep.
February is like a Tuesday. No, is Monday evening around dinner time.
Okay.
It's like twilight. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I'm with
Yeah,
that.
that's
I'm
when
with
you
that.
come home and your mom has made
yes.
fish.
Yes.
And you're
Yes.
like, oh, it smells like fish.
February is a disappointing 15-minute wait for a disappointing Monday night dinner.
Yeah.
March, Tuesday afternoon. April
April has hope. April
April's-
brings hope. So
Hump day.
I feel like that is hump day. That's Wednesday.
Yeah,
little bit for
it's
me.
a rainy but pretty Wednesday.
Yeah, you're getting
Now-
little glimpses of green in the forest. It's like it's coming back. It's coming back.
Now, I think that Wednesday continues into May
I
because
agree.
because May, I would actually say, I think we start April just like April comes in like a lion and goes out like a lamb. I think April comes in as a Wednesday and goes out as a Thursday because May's a Friday.
No way.
Yes, it
wait.
is.
Oh,
Don't you
gosh, I
think?
don't know.
June is
I don't
a
know.
Friday.
June's
See,
Friday
I'm-
for sure.
Yeah.
I'm not a summer boy. I'm not a
Oh, you're
summer
not?
baby. No, I like the cold. So like my happy days align with cold months. Even though that doesn't make sense for
Yeah.
February and January because those
No.
are cold. But those are gloomy, old
Yeah.
post Christmas.
Yeah, you like
Everything's
fresh
dead.
cold, new cold.
I like new cold. I like white cold. That
Yeah.
doesn't sound good.
That sounds
I like
bad.
Wait, what? You heard it here. Ryan
flat out.
loves white.
Welcome to the broadcast, everybody.
Okay,
God, I
so all right, May's Thursday, June's Friday, July Saturday, which makes August Sunday again, which I'm correct about. So we're both
That's
right.
That's
So
true. Is
how
it
are we getting
poss-
from that Sunday to Sunday of December?
I'll take. Here's a hot take.
All right.
Each season is a weekend,
Okay.
and
Oh.
each season has
I
a
like
Friday,
this.
Saturday, and Sunday
Okay.
I like this.
because
That
it's too-
yes.
Magnanimous
the year is
answer.
too hard to like because there's too many Fridays in there, too many happy days.
You are 100% correct on this, Ryan. You have solved it because September's a Monday.
Yep.
October is definitely
Oh.
no wait. September's a wait.
We've
we're
lost
going
the
in
thread.
quarters.
We've
no,
lost
we haven't.
the thread.
No,
No,
because
September's
because
a-
August is the Sunday of summer.
No, because
with
summer
that.
is actually okay. So if we're going June, July, August, September, October, November.
Yeah.
So we're not going by the calendar year.
It's
Great.
7 days to each 3 months.
Right.
There
So,
it
but we're
is.
shifting because I'm going by like the fiscal quarter. You know what I mean? So it's like
You're going like by
I'm going
tax
like
year, the
October.
corporate
Yes,
year.
I'm going corporate year. So I'm not.
Yeah.
So let's ignore
We're talking
corporate year.
Q1, Q2
All
here.
all corporate quarters are Monday afternoons.
It's all Monday. Yeah.
There are so
Someone's
many
like,
people.
are there ghosts in this podcast or not? What
How
the
many
fuck
go-
are these guys?
They're doing the 30-second jump ahead, just waiting to hear anything to do with ghosts.
Still talking about
God,
30 minutes in.
like in a-
Now I think
he's a calendar accountant or something. Like I don't understand.
Now, September 17th. Where are we then?
now which holidays are Mondays?
Oh, God.
Arbor Day, Flag
break.
Day,
Well, it's Tuesday, actually.
Oh my god.
Spring Break's a Saturday.
That's 7 Saturdays in a row.
Oh, so you got a bone to pick with us, Ryan? What the hell's going on?
Yeah, I
Yeah, let's
do.
hear it.
I don't want to start off this way, but
Okay.
but I feel like I can be transparent with you guys and open and honest. And I saw that you guys did an overnight in a hotel,
Oh.
and I feel like I told you if you ever do an overnight in a hotel,
You did tell us that. You did.
Yes.
I have to go. I'll pay my own way. I will buy my own room.
We're
I will
bad
do everything.
friends.
I'll bring my own equipment. And then what do I have to do? Is see Steve Berg getting a reverse lap dance. Breaks my heart.
Oh,
No,
I'm sorry.
I understand, but
Now-
I truly was I had such FOMO and such jealousy. I was like, I have to tell them next time. You must take me. You must
Okay.
take me.
Yes,
absolutely.
1,000 times yes.
Ryan, we would love to have you. You were on, I believe, when we were doing all this, you were out showing your movie at film festivals. I don't even
Yes.
think you were available.
That's possible, but I don't know if anybody did a check.
We didn't check.
We did a convenient out.
You know, but
I may have been traveling.
Ryan, we would
but
love that more than anything. So next
Also-
one, guarantee
Yeah,
you're
we
at the
gotta
top
book
of the
it
invite
now.
list. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. And
Yeah.
and by the way, it would if Steve Berg is there too. That's
Nope.
like
No.
triple joy.
No.
He is
Because
out.
No, he's out now.
Is he?
No.
He didn't do a good.
I would love to
He
have
said-
both of you there. I'll grow a mustache, and
We'll do
then
3
we can be the
stashes.
mustache boys again.
Everybody. Everybody grows
mine's
a
like a real
mustache.
kind of wispy Vincent Price, but it's blondish.
It's even better.
You're fine. You got
scraggly.
long hair. You make up for it. You
Okay.
know?
You can just spirit gum some of your hair
perfect.
over
Yeah,
there.
I'll just
Yeah.
do one of these.
We'll get you a fake one. So tell us how the movie's going. What's the movie update? McGurdy
It's
Point.
good. It's good. It should. I can't say too much, but it should be on a streaming service soon.
Good.
Cool.
And people will be able to see it. And we're going to our probably final film festival in Atlanta in a couple weeks.
Okay,
so
great.
Anybody in Atlanta, come on down. It's going to be Sunday I think Sunday the 20th at 5 p.m. at the Limelight Theater.
At the 20th.
Is that right? Well,
The 20th.
Tell me-
I think
of
20th is a
Sunday, or-
Monday because my
So the
birthday's the
19th.
21st.
okay, then the 19th.
Yes,
I'm glad
the
you
19th.
fixed it. I wanna-
Fantastic. Well, congratulations. It's getting great buzz. I've seen wonderful reviews. I, of course, have not spoiled myself, and I've not gotten a link to watch it yet. So I guess I'm going to try to see it. Is it coming to LA? Can I see it in a theater? Are you
No.
going to have a screening here?
I just have to remember to send it to you
Okay.
because I want you guys to watch it because it would be fun to talk about and
Yeah.
promote.
We would love it, and we want the cast to come on the show whenever
Yeah,
it
you're
gets a
friends
release.
you're friends with a lot
I
of
got
them.
Allison in the pocket. I've already talked to her. She wants to go. I've met Patty Guggenheim a couple times. I think she's
great.
one of the greatest. We'd be honored to have her. Everybody else, whoever they may be, I can't remember everybody on the show. They're all welcome.
Kyle Kennedy,
Kyle's great.
Nick Panessa. You may know.
I think
but
I do
yeah,
know Nick. We've met. Yes.
There's a bunch of people that would be so
Great.
fun to have on.
Okay, great.
But yeah, thanks for checking in.
Well, thanks for being here. Sorry it's not a haunted hotel, but we promise we'll get you one in the near future. I thought you had beef with us because, every time you come on the show, our audience likes to clap back, Ryan. The first time it was over your opinions on dowsing.
Yeah.
The second time
Controversial.
it was your fact in the Tower of London that people ate pig shit. We had a couple historians come on and say
They did.
people didn't eat pig shit. They were not eating pig
Doubling
shit.
down.
I don't believe them. People eat pig shit.
So I thought you were going to
They
get mad at
definitely-
us for rebuking your
I
pig
want-
shit fact.
I want to know who. I want to know who told you people weren't eating pig shit. I'm gonna go straight to them. Have a televised debate.
Great.
Pig shit.
Yeah, I would love this, actually. See you get destroyed in 30 seconds.
Yeah. I mean, my reference is not great. It was like a London tour from a teenager or something. So I don't know.
to eat the shit.
Pig shit. I believe it.
Oh, there's Nova. That's letting us
Hey,
know.
Nova.
He's real ornery today. I got to tell you, we're gonna get some more of those.
I got
Really?
I got one of
Yeah.
those here too. So, but I think that was him telling us it's time to move it along.
Yeah, he's like enough.
Get ready, Riley, because we do have some. BCC booze. That's right. It's October, so the news is extra spooky. I did a little quick googs, and I was like, what's up with our friends from other planets right now? And I found out, Nova, that a mysterious black pyramid-shaped UFO has been spotted flying over the U.S. this past month. Now, this is from a reputable website called Express. It's dated the 30th of September. New footage of a mysterious object flying over Texas in broad daylight has been discovered by UFO hunters. The sighting occurred on September 8th in Trenton shortly after 8 p.m. Eastern when two witnesses saw the pyramid-shaped object moving eastward for at least 2 minutes. The Texas resident who was on his property at the time of the incident managed to get close and shoot a clear video of what is said to be the object as it appeared from a tree line about 30 feet above the ground. The witness, who sent his footage to the National UFO Reporting Center, or NUFORC, added that the dark triangle appeared bronze and was illuminated or had a pulsating light around its edges. Now, while I go on, I'm going to let everybody know that there's a link to a video. You kind of have to fish your way through some bullshit in the middle of the article to get to it, but you will see the video playing there. Although the person filming the UFO noticed the object changing shape, it was seen to maintain a straight edge and a triangular or pyramid design during the more than 60 seconds that the witness managed to follow it with his camera. New Fork, a volunteer-run profit organization, has been collecting UFO reports since 1974, stressed that it is possible that the object was simply a balloon. And U.S. military officials have maintained that there is no evidence of extraterrestrial contact. Those wet blankets. This incident was one of 10 reported in Texas alone over the past 3 weeks. Moreover, it is the latest encounter with a suspected object described as a black triangle seen flying over the U.S. This year, black triangles are back, baby. This particular triangle was reported flying at around 32 to 48 miles per hour, so kind of balloon speed in high winds, as it climbed higher into the sky and receded into the distance that night. The witness added that the unidentified object made no sound at all as it flew through the air. It was estimated to be between 1.8 and 2.1 meters long, making it relatively large if it was just an ordinary balloon. And then they go into about black triangles being seen. In May, another Texas resident claimed to have seen a large black triangle the size of a football field with faint green lights. And just the day before the Trenton incident, someone saw a UFO in Hudson Falls, New York, about 9,000 feet above the ground. There was no sound. It was a large black object with white lights around the edges, the witness reported to New Fork. There you go. So what do you guys think about this particular video? Now, I find black triangles to be the most menacing and spooky of all UFOs. What do you think, Ryan?
Well, this is what you sent me, right? The video that I got from you?
Exactly.
Yeah. I there were a couple things about it immediately that stuck out to me. One, there was no frame of reference in the video. There was nothing in it that I could compare any size to. I'm curious to know how they knew the size of it or how high it was in the air.
Right.
Depending those, I don't know how they figured that out. But I guess the people that saw it were estimating that. Is that
I think
true?
the people were saying that that's how high it was.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I
it was
don't know how people do that. Like that other one is 9,000 feet. How are you like?
That's very specific.
Yeah. Like I don't know what 9,000 feet looks like.
No,
Do you?
anything
Does
past
anyone?
100 feet, I'm like 1,000. I don't know.
Far?
No, it could be like a child's balloon on a string, and I'd be like, that's got to be 500 feet. I don't know.
That's pretty high up there.
I guess.
This is why I love Below Deck, because all those bosuns and deckhands are shouting how many meters the yacht is away from any given moment. I'm like, how do they know this? How does anyone learn this? I can't tell.
If you look closely though, because I kind of did a little capture of it and then zoomed in on it.
I love that you can hear all the cicadas though, by the way. That's a real nice touch.
That is fun. I recently went to Kentucky and that was my first experience with cicadas and it was loud. It was very loud.
Yeah, they can be very loud. This does kind of look like a balloon.
It feels balloon-like.
It looks like a trash bag filled with helium.
It is a trash bag either filled with helium or just a trash bag tied at the bottom. You can kind of see the balloon knot.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And you can see it. The balloon knot is always heavier, so it tends to float on the bottom, which it is doing. And it kind of explains why it's floating around so, erratically.
This is a trash bag. We solved
That's
it.
a trash bag.
100%
It's a trash bag.
Yeah, that's a trash bag.
All
trash
of our
bag.
aliens lately have been plastic bags. This is making me sad. What is this, American Beauty? Come on.
I like how it just casually mentions another one the size of a football field and then just
I
moves
know.
on.
I
the
think we
size of a
talked about
football
I think we
field.
talked about that during BCC UFO roundup this summer, because I think they're just pulling those reports off
sure.
of the new
They're
Fork
you know what? They're probably pulling it from our
website.
show.
They
think.
might
Football
be.
field is
Big.
it was what 100 meters.
It's about
Yes.
it's either the size of a pie plate or a
Yards.
dinner table. I'm not
100
sure. I
yards.
can't judge. So, yeah.
Yards are meters.
100 yards.
basically.
100. Yeah,
Close enough.
It's the length of a child's
Either
balloon.
way, it's 9,000 feet in the air. That's still pretty big.
Yeah. Well,
that is an
commercial-
impossible estimation. Yeah, it's the size of a football field, 9,000 feet in the sky.
Okay. So
Okay.
cruising altitude for an airplane is what, 30,000 feet?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if it's, you could measure that being 30,000 feet. So if it's bigger than a plane, you
right.
could start like decreasing it in that way by tens. You know what I mean?
You're doing that
30,
math in your
20.
head while you're looking at it.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
you're
yeah.
assuming it's a specific size because say it's the size of an airplane instead of being 100
Right.
yards. It's only 50
I'm just
yards.
saying, I know how, you can tell 30,000 feet if you've seen a like commercial airliner flying through the sky.
Yes.
I'm not judging by size. I'm judging by height. I'm learning how to do this now. How dare you? You guys want to go on a yacht?
I hate
So-
boats.
We decide it's a trash bag, right?
I think so.
yeah,
I think
that's
that's
a
a fair.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Okay. All right. Well, we're
I
gonna
hope. I wish it wasn't. I truly wish it wasn't.
I do too.
Yeah.
What if it's a
I don't
UFO
think-
disguised as a trash bag?
Then I
Perfect
say-
cover.
Yeah, I say, on your way, alien.
Good day, sir.
You got us. You got us. You found a way in.
A tip of the 10-gallon hat.
Yes. Now, how do you know how many gallons that hat is?
well, I'm viewing it
Depends
from
how-
5,000 feet, so
God, oh, yeah. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we may or may not get into paranormal stuff. We'll find out.
we'll see.
Ryan, you said you love October. You obviously love horror movies. Do you have any special Halloween memories? What did you do for Halloween growing up?
I was lucky enough to have my birthday 2 days before Halloween on October 29th.
Buddy, I'm October 21st. Do we not know that we're like birthday friends?
We're Scorpio brothers?
I'm a Libra, but I'm a Scorpio rising.
Okay, so we still have some.
We're so close.
Wow,
Some
I'm kind of glad you guys are
energy.
not Scorpio brothers because I would have felt so left out.
We're the Scorpio
I would- I
Bros.
would-
Scorpio brothers.
I would have felt like
be-
Ryan watching that episode with Steve Berg.
Good. Somebody has to feel how I felt.
The Super Scorpio Brothers. It's just like the Mario Brothers, except you have scorpion tails.
Yeah.
Except we just like keep secrets and
Lock Riley out of the room.
yeah.
Guys, come
No.
on.
Did you have? I feel like we may have talked about this, but it was great because Halloween is not a. It's not like Christmas where you have a birthday close to Christmas where you have to double up on presents. Halloween's not really a present holiday. It's just
No.
fun. So it was like huge amounts of fun on Halloween or my birthday with presents followed by this like celebration of Halloween 2 days later. I was in heaven.
Yeah.
In heaven.
That's
So I'd
pretty
have
great.
parties. I'd have parties and like just in Maine, we had nothing. So I'd have a party and just invite 20 people over and we'd have pizza and fruit punch and then go out into the woods in the night and with flashlights and just scare the crap out of each other.
Man.
It's the best.
It was the best. It was so
Yeah.
simple, but it's like, if I tried to get my kids to do that, they'd be like, what? Why would you go in the woods, you idiot?
And in-
Sticks are not guns. Sticks are not knives or swords.
We and I don't know why I put myself in here. Maybe it's because I'm your Scorpio bro, but Maine must have some of the most beautiful fall foliage
Oh,
that
yeah.
you've ever seen. I've never been there. I've seen
It's-
pictures, but it just must feel very autumny there.
It feels so haunted and great. It's like walking through the woods in the fall is like everything is dying. Like the trees are literally like releasing their leaves all over you. It's some weird like it smells like dead leaves. It's so fresh and everything's a little wet because it rains a lot in the fall. I mean, I can't get in. I'm very sad that I still miss falls there. Yearly.
Yeah.
But I get back, but there's nothing like going to the school bus in the morning and trampling through leaves and old trees that are leafless and look like you could say like, ooh, that one looks like an old man. I mean, I was
Yeah.
obsessed with everything fall, everything except pumpkin flavored coffee. I don't
Yeah,
know.
well, as a child, you weren't forced to look at that all the time.
No, that's true.
That
is
wasn't
true.
a thing when we were kids.
No, they just
No.
said coffee.
Yeah, yeah.
Coffee.
Any paranormal updates that we need to know about? Have you had any kind of spooky updates or any new thoughts on the paranormal or anything about the unknown that has captured your fancy since we last saw you?
No, I fancy myself a skeptic.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I'm starting to soften in my old age where I'm more open to the world of like some sort of connection between humans that is not just it's not as simple as we think. And it might have to do with my parents getting older and thinking about them and their mortality. And I'm like, it feels like there's too much there in a human for it just to go disappear.
Mm-hmm.
Like nobody could see me snap, but you can't just disappear. I truly feel like I don't know what I'm searching for anymore because it's not just, I'd love to see a ghost. I'd love to see Bigfoot. I'd love to see Loch Ness Monster. But I'm just sort of like, oh, I kind of just I want to experience something in that world too of like, oh, I feel my grandmother, or I feel like there's too many people that I talked to that somebody was just saying they were going on for a show and they started laughing for no reason. And like they heard their grandfather, who they had only met a few times, like talk to them. And I was like, that's crazy. That's not, but as I listened, I thought, God, it doesn't cost anything to believe that. And it only brought joy to this person. It only made them better in that moment. And I'm like, yeah, I need to at the very least open myself up to it more so that I can let it in if it does exist.
Yeah.
Nova, you agree?
He's chiming in.
He's like,
I had him subdued under the desk for a while getting pets, but he got bored and just wants to shout at me some more.
Of course he did.
So like what you're describing is kind of like a consciousness sort of mesh layer kind of thing over reality. Is that kind of what you're hinting at, or
sort of? It's a mix of like some sort of connection, like in our, like probably very simply a spiritual connection that we have, whether it's with one another or with specific people or with everybody, if you're open to it. I went to a psychic in, where was I? I was in Westerly, Rhode Island, and I just walked in and
that's the loudest airplane I've
are you
ever heard.
in like a World War II reenactment?
No, that's
right
Ryan.
Now? Was that you?
We find out he's in a foxhole this whole time.
Sorry. I couldn't even hear it. That's
don't worry about it.
Yeah, but she was like, she looked at me and she was like, within seconds, she goes, "Oh, you're not open to this."
Oh, wow.
And she was like, you need to, like, if you want to see some, because I was like, I want to see proof. And she was like, you'll never see it if you're not open to it. It doesn't, that's why people who aren't open to it or continue to not be open to it, because they're like, I've never seen proof. You have to at least admit that it's possible, that there's something more, and then you'll see it, or you at least have the ability to see it then. So I've sort of had this shift in the way I've been thinking to go like, all right, I'm just going to say like, my grandmother who passed away several years ago, I'm like, I sort of talked to her in my car for no reason and just see like if it changes my mood or my energy. And it kind of does. And I'm like, well, I guess regardless of whether that conversation I'm having with myself / with her, if it doesn't ever reach what I'm imagining as her energy, it still can bring me joy. And that in a way has some importance.
Yeah.
What do you think it is when people say you got to open yourself up to it? I've been told that about latent, medium style intuition and stuff like that. Like, what is it? What's the switch that we need? What do you think for you is the switch that's off?
I think like,
or how do you, I guess what I'm actually saying is like, how do you open yourself up?
Yeah. I think for me, it's going to be, I don't know if I asked it exactly the same way you did to this psychic, but I was like, well, what do I do? Which is the same thing. And she's like, well, you have to do a little work, meditation and sitting, say you go to that hotel and sitting in a room, and when you sit there and ask a question to, a ghost that lives there, or something that has been witnessed by other people, like, you have to mean it. You have to actually say it with expectation that there might be something back, and not in a joking way, and not in a, like, I'm never going to hear anything back. Like, really try. I think there's effort, and I think you have to actually do some work. And that's, it's not just being like, okay, I'll decide to believe now. I think you actually have to do some work. Like
an earnestness to it, where you're not joking around about it.
Yeah, which can come across as like a little, I think I've kind of rolled my eyes at people who've done this in the past.
Sure.
And that's probably a shift for me, is that I'm going to actually, try and see what I can discover.
Mm-hmm.
Which is so, excuse me, sorry, I have a real frog in my throat, which is so interesting to hear you say, Ryan, and we've kind of talked about this when you've been on the show before, because you're here and you're excited. You know what I mean? It is interesting that your enthusiasm for the topic does not equal openness to the phenomenon,
Yeah. Or skepticism about the topic, or the need to call people out who don't, or, because I still think there are a ton of people in this field that are just talking out their southern mouth.
Charlatans.
Yeah. And they, a lot of, there's not a ton of proof in this field, but I don't know. I kind of want to shift more to the middle, where I can just listen to people tell stories and kind of go, well, there's no reason for a lot of these people to make stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
They're feeling something.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to kind of investigate that for myself. Like, how I want to feel what they're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to listen more earnestly when they tell stories, instead of rolling my eyes.
Yeah, there's a vulnerability there, I think, is like one of the things you're circling around, where it's like, it's so easy when you're in like reason and logic and like intelligence to sort of like have this construct where you're like, you can't be shaken really. But like, there is that vulnerability of like excitedly and earnestly, like talking to your grandma, or like talking to a ghost in a hotel room, or whatever, where you feel maybe a little silly. But if you like, it's like you're breaking through that sort of conditioned wall in a way. I mean, this is also coming from someone who is like pretty skeptical, but like, I get what you're saying, and I do like that. And I feel like when I was a teenager, I had more of that, and I'd like to.
Oh, interesting. So you've gone the other way.
Yeah, totally. I was definitely more like whimsical and woo-woo when I was young, and like trying to, connect with the ethereal plane and all that stuff. And
yeah, it's interesting. Will either of you guys mess around with Ouija boards?
Yeah, hell yeah. I've done it before.
Both of you have no problem. So hell yeah, I'll do it right now.
What do you fucking tell me? I got one in the other room.
What do you want me to ask?
I got a planchette right here.
What? Portal opens up.
Yeah, I always wonder why people, like, there are some people who are quite like, just like normal folk who just don't talk about ghosts, don't believe necessarily in ghosts. They're skeptical, but they're like, not Ouija boards.
Yeah.
Nope. I don't screw with those. And I've always wondered, like, well, what is that? Is that religion, do you think?
I think part of it's a religion, like the idea that you might invite a demon in. And I also think it feels a little sacrilegious, because you're trying to like, you're using an occult instrument to like contact the dead. So I think there's a lot of built-in or residual satanic panic about it from the 80s.
Yeah.
That being
you're
said,
right.
I also think it is a thing of like, in a lot of cultures, when it comes to this, we kind of talked about this with Brian Bahi last week. Like, you don't go, there's a lot of cultures that are like, he was talking about how his dad was like, you don't go looking for this stuff. You do not call it to you. You do not invite it in. And so I think with the Ouija boards in particular, it's the fear of you're inviting something in. You're literally being like, hey, and you don't know what's on the other side. So I think people's like baseline superstitions will kick in about like, let's just err on the side of caution here and not like invite one of the principles of hell, one of the like, you know, governors of hell into your living room or your bedroom. But that being said, the other thing is you can look up protection spells and things to say before and after. There's before you do an Ouija board to kind of protect your space. So I would do it, but with that in mind. You know what I mean? I would go in with like some ward, with a little bit of a force field around me, just to let everybody know, like, you're not getting in, It's been years since I've done one, by the way. It sounds like I do it all the time, but I don't.
Have you, or will you mess with one?
I have not in years and years.
Did it work?
Yeah, I'm possessed.
I was possessed by a very,
I'll be honest,
skeptical demon.
Really? He hates dowsing rods.
Eats a lot of poop.
No, it did not work. Yeah, he eats. He died.
Pig shit
his
specifically.
Poop is pig shit. I remember it not working, and I remember one person like very clearly trying to move it, and being like, "Hey, you're moving it." But it was like a drunken night of something.
Yeah,
I was like, but
he's like trying to hold himself up with the planchette.
Like,
just keeps.
But if
you're moving it,
why is that a like supposedly an open door? Because the Ouija board's, it's a man-made, call it what you want, a game really. And, like myself talking to my grandmother in my car, does that open something up, or is that, I'm asking you guys like, but
I don't know.
Like
I think in a lot of these practices, the Ouija board is like a mirror for scrying, or a crystal ball, or like some people stare into a candle flame. Like, it's the idea, it's the intention is the important thing. But I think having an object to interact and focus on might also, there's something that happens to your consciousness when you're like zeroed in on a thing, right?
Yeah.
And I do think, if you stare into a mirror long enough, you're going to start to see shit. I'm not saying that's supernatural, but like it's trippy,
Yes.
So
That
I'm
is
not sure.
true.
I think there are some people that would say, this is kind of like what Nosferatu is all about. Like, if you call out for something, you might get something back. It may or may not be your grandmother. I think in a lot of times with like the Ouija board stuff, there might be a lot of trickster shit fucking with you on that. But I also think that like there's a way to be like, how families have like, what's the code word? Stranger, hey, I'm your mom's friend. I'm picking you up from school. What's the code word? It's a Mega Man, you fucker. I'm not getting in the car. I think like that there are ways to say, Grandma, if you're out there, give me a sign that I would know is from you. Yeah. And then you go about your day and kind of forget about it. And then see what comes up,
Right.
See if you get an answer back, and see if it's something that you're like, that's 100% my grandma. Like that is something that she would do, or that's a thing that I associated with her, or whatever, a song or an object of some kind popping up out of nowhere. I don't know.
True.
I think it's tough too. I think it's tough too. The thing that I was thinking of when you were talking about like being vulnerable, Riley, is like, also I think that the thing about this stuff it feels like either like the paranormal is either one of two things. It's either like scary and hardcore, or it's like very sentimental. And the good side of this, the stuff that's not scary, the stuff of like, it was my grandma, she was there. That I think feels very sentimental to people. And I think sometimes sentimentality just automatically turns people off. And I think sometimes turns people off when it is coupled with faith or letting go of rational thought,
Right.
because then you're like, well, not only are you now being sentimental, but you're probably stupid, is what I think a lot of people who get guarded about this stuff. So it's like you're dumb and you're crying.
Right.
And I think that, again, that ties into the vulnerability thing, because it's kind of cringe,
Right. That's the
all
word.
of this.
That, especially nowadays, that buzzword. I feel like the fear of cringe is the death of individuality. It's like brutal. Just be cringe, whatever.
But in the
you have too many
80s
pictures of angels around your house. What are
That
you
is
doing?
But in the
Other than
80s,
that, be
That's
cringe in
good.
like a cool, sexy way.
you got to go, if you're going to have angels all over your house, you have to have pictures of angels all over your house. You have to make it like a wild art project until it's non-cringe. But
Porcelain
also like,
statues.
I get the cringe thing because to me it's like, don't you guys remember, Riley, you're a little younger than us, but like everyone in the 80s was obsessed with being cool. Like cool was the buzzword. Are you cool or are you not cool? You know what I mean? And you were constantly like, how do I dress to look cool? How do I be cool? How do I be cool? Cool. And that was the thing. And I think it was sort of like, an inverse of the cringe factor that's popular now.
It's a little more accepted now to be vulnerable and to have this, that kind of an emo energy about you is not as like in the 80s, like you said, it was more black and white of you're either cool or you weren't cool. And now there is a spectrum of like, there's a lot more, there are so many different cliques as like used to be jocks, band, theater kids,
nerds,
and dork. Yeah.
Right.
By the way, difference. Have we talked about this? Because I can't figure
dorks,
it out.
nerds, dweebs, doofuses.
Do you know the difference? Dorks and nerds. Dorks, nerds,
geek. Okay,
geeks.
Wait,
dorks.
What are you laying down here, Ryan?
So
what, the difference between...
I think a dork is like a socially and physically uncoordinated, unaimed, like force of nature that is just moving through society and bumping into everything, right?
Yeah.
That's a dork. Oh,
just doing everything wrong. Socially, academically,
everything wrong.
Everything's wrong. You smell.
Wrong.
Your hair is messed up.
That's a dork.
Okay.
A nerd, I think nerd is tough because I think that like what we called a nerd in the 80s, we're like, well, this is somebody on the spectrum today. This is somebody who's like hyper focused on specific things, whether they are collections or topics or subjects, to the point that they can't get sometimes out of their own. It becomes a personality trope, or it gets in the way of their social acceptance around everybody else.
But they could still be somewhat put together somehow.
Yes.
They could have a tucked in shirt.
Oh, yeah.
And 3 little pens, and their hair is nicely.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh God, that
Little bit of it on the OCD spectrum as well.
Yeah, I can't go out on weekdays.
And
it's
then,
too late on a weekday. That's a nerd.
I think a geek is kind of like a nerd with ADHD. A geek is kind of like a geek because a geek can kind of be cool. You know what I mean? Geeks can be funny.
That.
I think it's so.
I never
it's
saw
either,
a cool geek.
It's either that or the geek is like so low status that like they are just a social pariah. You don't want to be around them. But I don't know.
A geek felt a nerd felt like a class of
classier
student,
yes.
and a geek a geek felt like a insult, like you fucking geek.
Yeah.
Or like felt very different than, no, you don't want to hang out with him. He's one of those nerds.
But I guess what I'm trying to say is like maybe geek has just gotten like a better association over time, because it's like,
see, I think
be like,
nerd
oh, I really
think
geek.
nerd has. I think you
both
would
of them
want to
have.
be a nerd now.
There are people who are like, ooh, I like that. I like nerd energy. That's hot. Or
Yeah, or like, I really geek out over this. This is really cool. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's true. That as a
I guess what I was trying to think, like, a geek might be like one of the uncool heavy metal kids, you know, where they have talent, they have a thing, but they're sort of unappreciated by the society that they're in. And they have sort of an intersection between nerd and dork.
Okay. And a dweeb is kind of a dork.
A dweeb is a dorky nerd.
We gotta,
and a doofus is just a dumb. A doofus.
This would be an excellent PowerPoint presentation.
A doofus
can be a jock. A jock.
A doofus is temporary. It's temporary because it's like, oh, dude, you doofus. Is usually like, dude, in that class you acted like a doofus.
Yeah,
you rarely are you a doofus for your entire high school career.
Yes, it's true. You have moments. It's usually
like, oh no, he showed up at the party in red and everybody was wearing blue.
Doofus. Yes.
Doofus. You
yes.
stupid.
Yeah. Little clueless. Momentary lapses of cluelessness.
Yeah. You can recover from doofus. You can't recover from dweeb.
No.
This is like an anthropological breakdown of the 1980s.
Okay, we've done days, we've done dweebs. What's next?
We jumped from a very heavy conversation about my grandmother and my shift in like paranormal acceptance.
Yes.
Like, what are the classifications?
Whatever, dorks.
Yeah.
We hopped on that so fast. We were like, okay, yeah, we'll break it down.
All right, we're gonna take a break. When we come back, we're gonna do some more classifications with the game that we like to play. See you soon.
Nerds in a minute.
Yes, you dorks.
Doofuses.
All right, Ryan.
Yes.
We have a game that you've played before, but it's got a little bit of a Halloween twist. I'm gonna run down a list of phenomena. If you're open to it, you're going to say treat. If you're not open to it and you think someone's pulling a fast one on you, you're going to say trick. This is a game that we are calling Trick
or Treat.
All right, Ryan Gaul, on your mark.
And there's no discussion again.
We can go back at the end.
Okay.
Go back at the end. It's rapid fire.
How's the house? Just hitting them.
Yeah, hit it. Yeah,
treat
exactly.
I'm okay with. Trick I'm not okay with.
Okay. Yes. On your mark, get set, ghosts.
Treat.
Bigfoot.
Trick.
UFOs.
Treat.
Mothman.
Trick.
ESP.
Treat.
Chupacabra.
Treat.
Oh, wait a minute. This isn't my Halloween list. I pulled up the wrong one. Hang tight. Treat. All right.
Like, this is feeling very
this
familiar.
is very normal.
Yeah.
I copied and pasted it from an old template. Well, let's talk about Chupacabra. You like Chupacabra, huh?
Well, here's the thing.
A little bit while I'm doing this.
I think Chupacabra there is something. I mean, I think it's some sort of species that is really knows how to blend in and hide itself. And when it's hungry, it goes nuts. But it's probably, like some sort of cave dwelling species that we're not aware of.
But fuck Bigfoot?
Well, yeah.
And we'll get into it.
Yeah.
Okay, we're back on the right track here. Here we go.
But fuck Bigfoot.
Witches.
Treat.
Werewolves.
Trick.
Vampires.
Trick.
Lake monsters.
Treat.
Haunted dolls.
Trick.
Ouija boards.
Trick.
Curses.
Treat. Love to come back though.
Stigmata.
Trick.
Black cats are bad luck.
Treat.
Candied apples.
Treat all the way, baby.
Chupacabra. We've said it. Forgot.
Checking again. Checking again.
Shapeshifters.
What if I said trick?
Yeah.
Trick.
Banshees.
Can you remind me?
A banshee
what a
comes from
banshee
Irish
is?
folklore, but it's a ghost, and basically they will appear and wail to let you know that somebody in the family is about to die. It's usually an omen of
trick.
death. Okay.
We'll
Trick?
go with a hearty trick on that
Okay.
one.
Phantom hitchhikers.
That's a trick for me.
Demons.
Trick.
The devil.
Trick.
The afterlife.
Treat.
Okay, there you go. Well done.
Pretty weird.
Let's go to curses.
Curses. See, it's probably a weird take on them, but I think people who are susceptible to curses, they will affect them if they hear them, and they will manifest them.
Mm-hmm.
I know that sounds
Oh,
weird. It's
kind of
not-
self-fulfilling
so I think
prophecy.
I think it's more on the cursee than the cursor.
Yeah.
On whether or not it's effective.
It's a flip of what you were talking about before. It's that intentionality thing. It's the,
Yes.
you know, I mean, there's like, you know, there is the whole like the secret, like manifesting a Lambo or whatever. But the manifesting thing in reality is totally real. Like your
Yes.
thoughts become your speech, become your action, become your life. Like,
Exactly. And when when an effective, somebody who's cursing somebody is good at it, I think they can manipulate somebody into believing this is going to happen,
Sure.
and I'm going to make you think about it.
It's like a psych out.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, really.
I get it.
It's the same with black cats. I think there's like in our lore so much that that people see them and then they manifest bad luck because of them.
Isn't that kind of what Oedipus Rex is all about? Like, it's sort of like, oh, this prophecy that I'm going to do this thing, I'm not going to do it. And by like trying to avoid it, you end up doing it. Yeah.
I did it. I feel yucky.
I feel yucky now. Daddy's dead and mommy's in my bed. So what's the problem? Bigfoot is just too big for you? Is that the
No.
thing? Like, it can't hide? You don't think it can hide?
Bigfoot's such a is there something out there? I don't know. I just believe if Bigfoot was a real thing, there'd be more proof by now.
Okay.
I think even Chupacabra feels like a more contained animal somehow,
Species,
like in a
like-
specific area where
Okay.
it's sort of more remote. To believe that Bigfoot like is hauling ass all over the Appalachian Mountains and the Pacific Northwest, and I know there's a lot of open land all over the place, and
A lot of caves, too.
a lot of caves, and maybe they're very shy creatures.
I don't think they're shy. I think they're smart and they know to stay away from us if they're real.
I mean, yeah, but then how have we not found like a lot more footprints and poop?
You always
shit.
got to bring it back to poop.
God, I'm hungry.
Ryan.
I feel like going on a tour right now.
Or like or like with all the technology we have now and drones and hunting cameras set up, I would think there would be more. But that said, I'd be the first person to be very excited.
Oh, man.
Oh, the most
if there were-
excited.
Oh yeah.
I think do you think you'd be more excited to see Bigfoot than you would a UFO? Or an alien?
Yes, because I
Yeah.
believe I've already seen a UFO.
Yeah.
Not personally, but I just believe UFOs are
Yeah.
probably a real thing, and
Okay.
I just
Yeah.
can't believe they haven't blown us up yet.
Great. I love it. Okay. We'll take a break. When we come back, it's time for this week's terrifying tale from Zombie Bigfoot's Crypt to Crypt. We're running long this week, everybody. Get
Hey,
ready.
we're having fun.
Deal
We're having
with
a
it,
good time.
geeks. You dweebs.
Okay. Anybody need a little water break?
Hold on.
Oh yeah.
Sip, sip.
H.
Ooh, what do you got there?
Waterloo sparkling peach water.
You know, I had a Waterloo lately,
like
and
a
I very
Waterloo.
much enjoyed it. It was
It
raspberry.
was pretty good.
Pretty good. I'm drinking a bubbly with some bitters in it. My favorite.
I got water in a jar.
Water in a jar, in a mason jar,
look at
little
that.
tadpole swimming
It's a
around.
pretentious jar.
Oh, what does
What's
it
it
say?
say?
It says Erewhon.
Oh,
Because if you
That
give
was-
them back, they give you like $3. So,
Oh.
but then they just end up
But
becoming
it's
my cups.
$50.
you have $60 worth of Erewhon cups.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, it's time for this week's terrifying tale from Zombie Bigfoot's Cryptid Crypt. Riley, Ryan, why do the foxes die?
I don't know.
That was-
Biology?
That was the headline of a February 1970 edition of the Highgate Express, a local news rag from Highgate, a suburban area of North London. Foxes in the area had been turning up dead in Highgate Cemetery with their throats cut with deep lacerations. While some believe that the killers might be occult practitioners conducting black magic rituals, reports traveled across the cobblestones and dark alleyways and into the telephone wires of the British Psychic and Occult Society that a tall, dark, sinister force called the Highgate Vampire was creeping among the headstones. One local man, Anthony Robinson, told reporters, "I've never believed in anything like this. Now I'm sure there's something evil lurking in Highgate." Other eyewitnesses included a woman walking her dog near the cemetery gates when she saw a tall, dark man with glaring eyes. This figure was also reportedly seen by a man who contacted the BPOS after a shadowy figure glamored him into a lazy stupor before vanishing before his very eyes. Two local girls claimed they could see spirits rising from the graves while walking home one night past Highgate Cemetery, and the entity lurking among the burial plots became known as this Highgate Vampire. Well, would you look at that? It's almost been 8 years and we've never done a single High Strange segment devoted to vampires. Well, guess what? That all changes tonight. Break out your garlic, hang your crosses, and gird your loins, because out of the cryptid crypt come real vampires. We're going to be looking back at some historical accounts like the Highgate Vampire that might have you thinking twice about the existence of reanimated blood-sucking corpses. Stories of malevolent beings that feed upon a person's life force are almost as old as folklore itself. Just a few weeks back in our episode about the Hat Man with Matt Roller, we talked about incubus and succubi, demons that slip into your bedroom at night.
I like that skip in there.
They skip.
Didn't proofread this one, everybody. Let's see what wonders lie ahead. Slip into your bedroom at night and suck the life force from your lungs. The symbolic or demonic personification of nightmares and night terrors. It's easy to see how these figures are precursors to the modern vampire myth. After all, how many countless movies have we watched? The vampire slinking into a maiden's bedroom at night to have its way with her. There are also stories of flesh and blood consuming demons that can be traced back to ancient cultures. The Hebrew she-demon Lilith, who appears in the Talmud, was, in some folkloric traditions, Adam's first wife, who was cast out of Eden for not listening to her husband. The name likely originates from the Persian demon called Lulutu, which are a class of blood-sucking entities whose name roughly translates into night monsters. The word vampire most likely comes to us from Slavic languages and stories of the creature we've come to know and the creature we've come to know and been known to come over. Sorry, I stepped on my own joke and it bombed.
Who are you coming over?
You're coming over a vampire because they're sexy. Scratch it. Originated in Eastern Europe. I wrote that joke like in a fury at like 3:30 this afternoon and forgot about it. It just looks like a typo. And the stories of the creature we've come to know and been known to come over originated in Eastern Europe.
I get it now.
Now I get it
the
too.
second time.
1,000 years ago in Bulgaria, a vampire would be considered the ghost of a dead individual whose spirit has returned to spread disease and devastation across the village or a community, maybe created to explain actual diseases killing people in that community. Sometimes the spirit would be a reanimated corpse, which would then feed on blood. In the old world, vampires would often go after their immediate family members, neighbors, pets, and livestock, sort of a localized pestilence and famine all in one body. South Slavic traditions might consider digging up the body and staking it to be the best way to destroy one of these fiends, preferably a stake made of ash, hawthorn, or oak. Aspen was also considered to be strong against vampires because Christ's cross, allegedly, was built from an aspen tree, which I never knew. The stake to the chest was a good way of popping a bloated old vampire who had freshly gorged itself on blood. Sometimes the bodies of the recently deceased would be buried face down so they would bite dirt, or they were buried under heavy rocks so they couldn't climb out, or with a scythe positioned over its neck so if the undead attempted to rise, it would decapitate itself.
Wow.
I mean,
smart.
Yeah,
That's very
clever.
18.
But
Really?
imagine like burying your loved one with the
I know.
face down with rocks and a blade over their head. They're like, well, good night.
I love
Sweet.
you. R.I.P.
Elizabeth, my darling, I shall place a scythe over you so you cannot rise and decapitate me and my new wife. Now, this next part is in all caps.
And there
but
was
it's-
definitely no crossover between you and her.
Yes. And I definitely didn't murder you either. This next part is in all caps because it was an accident. I was like, I'm not going to go back and retype this. For
You should
hundreds
shout
of
it.
years, vampires were more akin to the zombie. Bloated, purplish, lumbering, reanimated corpses. It wasn't until the 18th century that they started to get sexy. Our more modern take on the vampire comes from a novella, simply called The Vampire, written in 1819 by John William Polidori, taken from the story told by Lord Byron as part of a contest among Polidori, Mary Shelley, Lord Byron, and Percy Shelley, the same contest that produced the novel Frankenstein. The Vampire is the first work of vampire romanticism. British writer and educationalist Christopher Frayling said that it was the first story successfully to fuse the disparate elements of vampirism into a coherent literary genre. So it kind of takes the best of all vampire folklore and starts streamlining it into what we're going to come to know today. By the end of the 19th century, we have Bram Stoker's Dracula, still the most iconic work of romantic fiction about vampires to this day. Take that, Twilight. And within 2 generations of that, the Count had transitioned to the silver screen. The rest is pretty much history. But is there truth, any truth, to vampirism? We've all heard stories about Vlad the Impaler being the inspiration for Dracula, or Elizabeth Bathory, a Hungarian noblewoman who was rumored to have killed young maidens and bathed in their blood to stay young and beautiful, also one of the handful of inspirations for slumber party mascot Bloody Mary. But neither were ever considered actual vampires. They were just kind of violent people that killed a lot. And I, sidebarring here, I guess the closest it came to Vlad Dracul II, Dracula, for eating people, was that apparently he had a bunch of people staked, and they're all like writhing on the stakes, and he set up a dinner table and had his like servants cut them apart while he ate.
Oh,
And
wow.
so that's kind of where the myth of him eating the blood and the flesh come from. But apparently he also took bread and dipped bread into the blood and ate it as like a big fuck you to everybody. And that's where we get that idea of Dracula, and that's what inspired Bram Stoker's Dracula. Dracula means son of the dragon, by the way, or son of the devil. His father was Dracul, and Dracula in Romanian is like son of the dragon, which is pretty fucking badass.
Yeah, it is.
It's very scary. However, there are many compelling stories throughout history where people believed real vampires were terrorizing their local communities. In 1591, a homemaker from Breslau, Poland, named Weinrickus, sliced his own throat and died. In some Eastern European traditions, death by suicide was considered one of the causes of vampirism. So it may have been a shock, but not necessarily a surprise, when Weinrickus allegedly returned from the dead and was spotted wandering around the village at night. Some people claimed he even climbed into their beds and held down their arms and legs. Weinrickus' body was exhumed, and the locals claimed his skin was fresh-looking and taut. He also bore a rose-shaped mole on his foot, which they believed to be the mark of a witch, just for having a mole on your foot. Weinrickus' body was buried under some gallows. However, that didn't work because his corpse, or ghost, returned, and eventually the villagers dug up his body again, dismembered it, burned it, and scattered the ashes into the river.
Smart.
That's how you get rid of a vampire. 1 year later, in 1592, in the not-too-distant city of Pench, an alderman by the name of Johannes Kunz this one's good. Johannes Kunz was kicked in the dick by a lusty gelding so hard that he went delirious.
What a delicious
We've
sentence.
all been there. We've all been there.
This took place
Cunts.
after a massive dinner party where Kuntz, a staunch
What a dweeb.
Christian and wealthy man, and a doofus, wanted to show off his horse to the local elite. He's like, I have a rather lusty gelding, I'm going to show all of you. And then I guess its hoof, the horseshoe on its hoof was loose. He's like, fix this. Well, oh God, oh my God. And
Oh my
he
God.
it injured him so poorly, he was dying over the course of the next week. And he started to go delirious, and he kept saying, he was saying things like, woe is me, how do I burn and am all on fire. So over the next few days, he began to rant and rave about how his soul was damned, and all of his friends and family and neighbors were like, maybe he's made a deal with the devil, maybe he sold his soul. So while he lay in bed dying in front of his son, a black cat entered the room, jumped onto Kuntz's body, and ripped his face to shreds.
Oh my God. Insult to injury?
Yeah.
I mean, how hard do you have to get kicked in the balls to go crazy? And then on top of it, to have a cat go like, that looks like a good guy, to just rip to shreds. Oh my God, what a week.
Yeah, well, can you blame Kuntz that after all that happened and he died, he rose from the grave? His vampiric form was deemed responsible for strange hoof prints seen in the snow, and there were claims he had sexually assaulted some of the women and even groped a vicar in his bedroom one night. After 5 months of terror, Kuntz's body was dug up. According to the story, there was no sign of decomposition, and when his leg was cut by a blade, blood gushed forth. Kuntz's body was quickly chopped up and burned.
Good.
This guy was rich, wealthy. He had an amazing life, and then crashed and burned so hard. His whole reputation changed just because he got kicked in the dick by a horse.
So bad, and yet
So
still was able to rise from the dead and sexually assault his village.
Yes.
So it couldn't have been that horrible.
I'm just saying his whole
Still had a
reputation.
crotch,
Now, years, centuries later, all we're talking about is how this guy got kicked in the dick by a horse and turned into a vampire.
Did you hear about what happened to Kuntz?
Yeah. So good. In 1725, a Serbian peasant named Petar Blagojevic died from unknown causes. Now, not long after his death, a mysterious illness fell upon his village of Kiseljevo. 9 people died, but not before. And originally I thought this was just some of the victims, but I went back to check. All 9 of them claimed that Blagojevich visited their rooms at night and sat on their chests, sucking the life form out of them. Blagojevich's own son claims that his father knocked on the door one night, asking to be let into his former home. And when the boy refused, the vampire attacked his son and drank blood from his neck. The boy's mother also claimed that her husband had visited her asking for shoes, and she apparently ran away. Blagojevich's body, God, sorry,
Just call
everybody.
him Blogo.
Call him Petar. Blogo. Hey, Blogo.
Guns and Blogo.
Guns and Blogo.
Blogo's body
The OG
was dug up.
vampires.
His hair and nails had grown, but there was fresh blood in his mouth. The villagers staked his heart and allegedly watched as blood spurted out from his chest and nostrils. From 1726 to 1732, a wave of vampirism allegedly plagued the town of Medevia in Serbia. It all started when a young Serbian soldier named Arnold Paoli returned home from Greece. He confided to his wife that he'd been attacked by a vampire while over there, but wasn't too concerned about any fallout from his encounter. He'd cured himself by eating soil from the vampire's grave and smearing himself with its blood. Not long after that, Paoli died after slipping from a wagon and breaking his neck. A real doofus move, if you ask me.
Truly.
Total doofus move.
Soon, Paoli was seen wandering around the village at night and visiting villagers in their dreams. Many of his victims would wake up feeling weak and drained. One by one, these villagers started dropping like flies, with no apparent explanation or cause of death. Paoli's grave was dug up, where the people discovered that, quote, fresh blood had flowed from his eyes, nose, mouth, and ears, that the shirt, the covering, and the coffin were completely bloody, that the old nails on his hands and feet, along with the skin, had fallen off, and that new ones had grown. Further, quote, his body was red, his hair, nails, and beard had all grown again, and his corpse was doused in garlic, and a stake was driven through his heart. However, the mysterious deaths continued on and off over the following 6 years. A massive investigation was undertaken, and those notes we just heard was part of that result, overseen by medical professionals and the military, which concluded that the cause of all of these deaths was indeed vampirism. And here's one of the reports. Quote, they discovered at last, after much search, that the defunct Arnold Pauli had killed not only the 4 persons of whom we had spoken, but also several oxen, of which the new vampires had eaten, and amongst others the son of Milo. Upon these indications, they resolved to disinter all of those who had died within a certain time. Amongst 40, 17 were found with all the most evident signs of vampirism, so they transfixed their hearts and cut off their heads. Also, then they cast their ashes into the river. All the information and executions we have just mentioned were made judicial, in proper form, and attested by several officers who were garrisoned in the country, by the chief surgeons of all the regiments, and by the principal inhabitants of the place. The verbal process of it was sent towards the end of last January to the Imperial Council of War at Vienna, which had established a military commission to examine into the truth of all of these circumstances. This went straight to the top, and they, the military and these surgeons, they staked some vampires. Isn't
Very
this
official. Very
wild?
official.
That is very wild.
Yeah, official.
It was recognized by the government. Then.
They were like, this is what it is. They were vampires, and we had to chop off all these corpses' heads.
What year was that?
This was in a 6-year period, 1726 to 1732.
It's late enough.
Yeah, late enough.
Where
that
people
it's like,
should go,
come on,
like,
guys.
well, it's probably not vampirism.
Pretty wild.
Yeah.
On April
But it is.
Yeah, it might be. On April 12, 1922 in London, a man was walking down Coventry Street when an unknown assailant grabbed him from behind and bit him in the neck. As he felt the sensation of his blood being drawn out, the man passed out and awoke hours later in Charing Cross Hospital, surrounded by a perplexed medical staff. That same night, 2 more men came into the hospital claiming they'd also been bitten on the neck and sporting the same neck wounds. A week or so before, an enormous bat had been seen flying around nearby West Drayton Church. Eyewitnesses claimed that the foul creature plunged into the graveyard below, where it vanished. This story, coupled with the sudden attacks, led to hushed warnings of a vampire hunting on Coventry Street. No assailant was ever caught. However, there were rumors going around that the police had hired a vampire hunter who tracked the vampire down to Highgate Cemetery, where he staked the monster in the chest. Which brings us back to the beginning of our story, where in 1970, a vampire was said to be hiding in Highgate Cemetery in London, mesmerizing men and devouring foxes. British Occult Society investigator David Farrant was skeptical that there was a vampire killing foxes, yet, after investigating the case and speaking to eyewitnesses, he concluded there was indeed evidence to suggest that black magic practitioners, or Satanists, and vampiric activity were taking place around Highgate. He denied being interviewed about the case, but a local eccentric bishop and self-proclaimed exorcist Sean Manchester was all too happy to stand in front of television cameras and preach about the king vampire lurking in Highgate. Farrant described Manchester as a somewhat theatrical character who had been pestering local newspapers looking for publicity since he had first become aware of the investigation, claimed that the phenomenon was in fact king vampire, and after producing a crucifix and a homemade wooden stake, announced that to exorcise a vampire, one must first drive a stake through its heart with one blow, chop off its head with a gravedigger's shovel, and burn what remains. A day after Manchester proclaimed all of this to the press and said that he would be joining Farrant on his vampire investigation, a posse of vampire hunting locals wielding gravedigger shovels showed up at Highgate Cemetery ready to destroy the monster. However, they all ran away when they saw something dark apparently crawling across the premises. One of the would-be hunters, Anthony Robinson, who we quoted at the top of this story, said, I walked past the place and I heard a high-pitched I walked past the place and heard a high-pitched noise. Then I saw something gray moving slowly across the road. It terrified me. Over the next few weeks, the vampire activity seemed to die down. But then, in August, 2 teenage girls made the gruesome discovery of an old woman's body that had been dragged out from a grave, staked, and decapitated and left in the walkway. And another woman claimed that a tall, pale-skinned figure dressed in a black cloak had thrown her to the ground. Police once again ramped up the investigation, and David Farrant, worried about the escalation, decided it was time that he and the British Psychic Occult Society take action. According to Far Out magazine, on August 17, 1970, Farrant and other society members entered the cemetery and walked to the site of the initial sighting. They drew a large circle upon the ground which they sealed with protective symbols, salt, and holy water. A second circle was adorned with burning candles, and incense was laid around where the demon was expected to appear. No sooner had the seance commenced that human voices were heard in the distance. It was the police. The occult paraphernalia was quickly bundled together, and Farrant made a dash for the nearest exit. Unfortunately, he was quickly spotted and arrested for
occultism?
For desecrating gravesites, for lighting candles and putting stuff around. They arrested him for it. He actually did some jail time for it, which is crazy. While the mystery of the Highgate vampire was never solved, Farrant would go on to other projects like politics. In 1970, he ran in Hornsey as the sole candidate for his Wicca Workers' Party, which advocated nudity, free sex, the restoration of the Wiccan Creed, the establishment of state brothels, outlawing communism, and leaving the EU common marketplace.
Wow, what a platform.
I was like, you have me, you're losing me. Oh, what? Now you're a fascist? What's happening?
He's like a libertarian
Yeah.
swinger who also wants the state brothels.
Free. What was the second one?
The
Restoration
Nudity?
of the Wiccan Creed.
Yeah.
Nudity, free sex, restoration of the Wiccan Creed.
the restoration of the
Nudity
Wiccan
It
in
is like-
general.
Okay, you're a weirdo. You're a weirdo.
Yep.
You're getting weirder. Hey,
Getting
man,
weirder.
Calm
Getting
down.
weirder.
Hey,
Okay.
And
you
the
gotta
state
stop.
should
Stop
run
it.
the prostitution. And we'll have no communists.
And we'll all eat pig shit every night for dessert.
Pig shit for all. He would later go on to publish a book about the Highgate vampire incident called Beyond the Highgate Vampire. So, there you have it, boys. Some strange but true stories of real vampires throughout history. While our brief dive into the vampiric history may have been bite-sized, I think there's a lot here to sink your teeth into. What do you think, Ryan?
That was good stuff. You know, I gotta say, I'm not well versed in the history of vampires, and I feel a little smarter now. That was good.
Thanks.
I
This
think
is
it's
very,
really,
very, this is like just scratching the surface.
Sure.
Like, oh
No, it
my
feels like
God, is
there's
there...
a ton?
There is so much vampire lore out there, and there is so much vampire lore on the internet. It's like
It feels like
crazy.
vampires truly, you know, the pretty stuff, the romantic stuff, the sexy stuff about vampires is all like sort of, that's the frosting.
Yeah.
And really what vampires are just undead that feed off of human blood and flesh.
Yeah, I think, and obviously I'm not a scholar here, but I think that the advent of romanticism mixed with like Victorian like repression just made for this great monster that turns into like a sexy man or a sexy woman to like turn you upside down. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Seduce you and then literally
Yeah.
like
Makes-
neck you.
yeah, you go
and take your
across,
blood.
you know, when you get in league with a vampire, you are fully turning your back on society and all laws of Christianity and religion. You know, you become one of the undead, you feed off people, you kill, you fuck, and you live forever so you don't die. You're an unnatural being at that point, you know, but you still get to mix with society, which is also very thrilling and strange.
Forever you get to mix.
Yeah, until you get staked in the heart. But yeah, I think up until that point they were more, even though there were descriptions of vampires as being like fat and like peachy and like taut skin. There are stories of them they sound more like zombies or ghosts for hundreds of
Right.
years before we kind of get to them being like, you know, matinee idols.
Yeah, the green skin and the bloated.
They looked more like Nosferatu, you know, the original Nosferatu. You know what I mean? They really kind of had that more of a ghoulish feel about them. They were more like animals creeping through the night. They were scarier, I think, because they were more monstrous.
Absolutely.
But I don't know.
What really sticks with me from this whole thing is just how much people were digging up and dismembering bodies.
Yeah.
There's a lot of I think it's just this like curiosity about like death and biology where they're like, I don't know, just dig them up, chop them up, couldn't hurt.
Yeah.
Like,
Let's see.
It's
Cut
Yeah.
hey, Reggie, cut his leg, see if it bleeds.
yeah, exactly. Like they're just kind of like poking it, like
Experimenting, yeah.
yeah. It's
Also just like makes you realize how much proximity people had to dead bodies and graves back then. Like, today we kind of have to go out of our way. I mean, there's cemeteries not too far from here, but I can't just walk into a graveyard from my home. It used to be everybody had a graveyard just outside your village,
Right.
so
Yeah.
it's just, you were much closer to the dead in so many respects. People died in the house. And I also think it's an indication of how people couldn't let go even after people had died. They have to like go dig up their body and see for themselves.
That's true.
The
That's a
other
good
thing is
point.
too is there like I looked this up when we were talking about the 1720s that being like it's kind of like late for this, but hand washing in hospitals was not a thing until like 1847, 1853 kind of. That's when they started being like, perhaps we should wash our hands. And so it's like they just had like truly no understanding of like disease and plague and death, and it was
crazy.
everywhere. So like, and then
Yeah,
they're
they were-
digging up rotting corpses. It's just like,
which is just like exposing themselves to more bacteria and germs
exactly,
and
spreading
fungus
further disease. So it's
And if they get like a bad feeling, they're like, well, chop off its head and we'll burn it and throw it in the river.
yeah.
That was the solution. It's just like burn it and throw it in the river.
I mean,
Like
I know,
80% of the time.
most
that's
of
what you
life's
do.
problems can be solved.
Yeah.
with just
You can solve
burn it, throw
anything
it
by
in the
burning it in the river.
And there's also like the idea that part of the inspiration for the vampire myth is also that like people were buried alive and people could be, waking up in their coffin and banging and scratching and then maybe dug up later and there's like scratch marks on the coffin
Right.
because they didn't actually die, and that's why I had some graveyards had those like little strings with the bells so you could ring a bell above your grave if you woke up and were in a coffin.
wait, really? I've never heard that one.
Oh, you've not
Oh,
heard
yeah.
that? They would
That's
install like a little
wild.
doorbell. You could have a little doorbell
ding,
installed.
ding,
I don't think they were like super
not
common.
dead.
Yeah, but it would go through into your coffin that you could ring it if you woke up and you were like, where the fuck am I?
Imagine not going for that when you buy if you have to buy your
Yeah,
coffin
yeah,
before and they're like, do you want one with the bell?
I want one with
Of course I want
Yeah.
that. You
You gotta
gotta
get the bell.
pay the extra $60 for the bell. Just in case. Peace of mind.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah, pretty fun.
nuts.
Fun stuff though. So what do you guys think? Vampires, trick or treat, right?
I still say it's trick, but I think there's something, especially in what you were talking about earlier on, with probably what you're talking about, like the false death was probably a huge thing before it was like, somebody could be snoring and they'd be like, time of death, 5 p.m. and just like, probably they buried them in their back. There wasn't any like, I mean, a lot of those graveyards were like family graveyards on property, like on a farm. They were just like, go put it next to grandpa.
Mhm.
And I don't know if somebody was in a coma or if somebody had like stopped breathing temporarily and had a heart attack, they might just like throw them in a well and forget about them. And then of course they're going to be green and gross looking when they crawl back out and go like, what'd you do? I'm mad. I'm going to eat you.
Yeah. I think it too. It's just like also like how grief must have been so different then, you didn't have any form of counseling. It must have been so hardcore to see half your town die of some weird disease.
Yeah.
You have no television, you have no news, you're just left alone with like the village narrative and who might be turning into a vampire next. Like, so it's like this hysteria grows as well. But
There's no morgue. If it's the winter, you're putting them in your basement
Yeah,
to
it's
like
wild.
just wrapped up until spring comes.
Yeah.
yeah.
Or as
But-
Michael says, the Sunday, Sunday of the year.
That's
comes.
right. Yeah. Yeah, I think
No,
so.
that's a Wednesday.
No,
of the year.
Wednesday of the year. Yeah, so there you go. I don't know. I love these stories. I definitely think that there are, and we know this to be true because of like vampire clubs and stuff. I'm also sure that like maybe that vampire guy Coventry Street was probably just like some freak biting people. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That was like
Yeah.
acting like a
Totally.
vampire. I think there's people that probably are setting out to do things like this and behave this way. So in a
Definitely.
sense, there are vampires, you know?
But I challenge you. You explain to me what happened to cunts, because that man,
That horse.
that the week that man had, starting with a hoof to the scrotum. I don't
Worse,
know.
he had just had an awesome party.
Yeah.
And he was like, he's like bringing the mirror out to show him this
That's what he
horse.
gets
Yeah.
for his drunken boastfulness.
Yes.
Let that be a lesson to you
he got
all.
cocky. He got cocky.
Oh, I can think of some people I'd love to have be kicked in the nuts by a lusty gelding.
A cocky old cunt you can think of.
Hey, it's one thing to get kicked in the nuts. It's another thing to get kicked in the nuts and you go delirious.
Yeah.
That's like I'm picturing it as just like a hoof going up into your body.
Yeah.
It must have been
Uh,
a real good shot.
Unbelievable. Well, Ryan Gaul, you done did it again.
Ghoul.
Thanks
Ryan
for
Gaul.
being
Ryan
here.
Gaul.
Ryan Gaul. Where can people find your ghoulishness?
It was a pleasure being here. You can find me on Instagram at Rygaul, RYGAUL. And if you're in LA, come on down to a show at the Groundlings.
Great.
Fridays and Saturday nights.
Oh, it's Fridays too.
7:30 and 9:30.
Someone is doing construction
band
right
shit
outside
signal?
my window.
This
Oh,
is the
that's
episode
you?
of crazy noises in the background.
I mean, someone is like sawing something.
It's a little late,
sounds
guys.
after dark.
Yeah.
they're like trimming trees or something.
I don't know what
Yeah.
they're building something, cutting PVC pipe or something. I don't know. I'll close my window soon. Awesome, buddy. We love you. Next
Hey.
Ghost Quest, you're going to be there.
I'm in. Whether
All right.
you want me there or not,
Great.
I'm coming.
We'll let you know.
Nice.
We
All
do.
right.
All right, buddy. Talk to you
All
soon.
right.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Ryan Gaul,
Ryan
legend.
Gaul.
What a
Man,
bud.
I
What a
love that
buddy.
guy.
It's the best.
Just a good hang.
Good hang. We hope you all had a good hang too. I forgot to mention at the top of the show because we got distracted having so much fun about days of the weeks and seasons. Don't forget that we have brand new Zombie Bigfoot Cryptid Crypt merch up in our merch shop by James Mulholland. We like it very much. We're very excited about it. So you can find that in the show notes of this episode. There's also links on our Instagram and our bio. Our link tree is up there at Bigfoot Collectors Club on Instagram. What else? Should we tell people that they can come join BCC Clubhouse?
We should
Where
tell
they-
them.
Yeah, they'll get access to 3 bonus episodes every month, access to music from Riley, and a whole bunch. Man, I'm really burpy tonight. I apologize, everybody. It's all that blood I drank earlier.
Oh.
And access to ad-free episodes. So head over to bcc.supercast.com. Join us over there. You'll get access to the Discord. You can give Riley a name. You can talk to all your fellow Club Scouts. You can talk to us. It's a good hang, too. So head on over there. Anything else you want to plug this week? Anything? Should we...
I mean,
What do
not
you
really.
got?
We ran long. So,
We ran long. We had fun.
yeah.
All right, everybody. Well, we're going to cross over to the other side for more Zombie Bigfoot Crypt to Crypt fun. If we don't see you there on when it's time to see us there, I haven't looked at the release calendar. We'll see you back here next Wednesday for an all new episode of terrifying tales from Zombie Bigfoot's Cryptid Crypt.
Well, that one went a little Kermit.
Hey ho, Cryptid Crypt here.
Ooh.
Cryptid Kermy here. Not bad.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good. That's right. Until then, good night.
And go get regressed.
There's Nova making another entrance.
He is just on one tonight.
It is really loud because it sounded like there was like the Indy 500 going down the freeway when I went to close the window. I don't know what the fuck is happening.
It's weird night.
It's weird times, everybody. Weird times. Bigfoot Collectors Club is executive produced by Riley Bray and Michael McMillian, and engineered and edited by Riley Bray. Our theme song is Come Alone by Suneaters, courtesy of Lotuspool Records. For ad-free listening and bonus episodes every month, join BCC Clubhouse on bcc.supercast.com. Want to see us? Watch video episodes and exclusive content on youtube.com/@BigfootCollectorsClub.